Hi, Amanda speaking. What? What's that you're saying? Who's back? Well, who is this speaking? Who are you? You filthy-minded.
Never thought we'd see that lady again.
Hmm? Who's that?
Stella Ross. She's come home.
Stella Ross? Gosh, the years go quick.
Coming home like that. No water in her blood.
It's strange thinking of her now. Her husband was music teacher at school.
Aye.
I remember the kids playing games about her at the time. They built her out of straw once and we burnt her like a witch. Yes, hello? Oh, hello, Ralph. I was going to... Yes. One more phone call. Obscene again. No, the same one. Yes. Rather unpleasant, really. Are you? Yes. Yes, we'll have a talk about it then. Has she been trying to contact you? No, I just wondered. Yes. See you later.
Aye, we've had a couple here ourselves. Cranks with long memories. Oh, why, they can be vicious. Oh, well, thank you for letting me know, Sergeant, and do let me know if there are any more. Right, aye.
More dirty phone calls.
Aye. I'll finish that later. I better go and have a word with Mrs. Ross.
What's that, is it? Over a few old busybodies.
You never know. Odd she should have come back, really. I wouldn't have. Mr. Duthie, there are some reports on my desk. I should be eternally grateful for your learned comments upon them. Miss Russell, tell the doctor I'll be there by 11.
Okay.
Where's she off to?
Gone to see Stella Ross.
Who? Never heard of her.
Ah, well, it all happened before you came here. There was a time when everyone in Glendoran had heard of Stella Ross. John, how are you?
Good day to you, Mrs. Ross. May I come in, please?
Of course. Things are in a mess.
Aye.
Please, won't you go in there?
Thank you.
"7 years of dirt and dust, Mr. Sutherland. They couldn't sell the house, so it seems.
It's no ordinary house, that's why.
I would have thought its notoriety would have given it market value.
Few people come near the house now, except vandals.
Oh, why? That's only natural. You find them wherever you go. People who smash windows and door walls when nobody's looking.
It's to be expected, I'm afraid.
Oh, please sit down.
Thank you.
I'm sorry I can't offer you a drink, Mr. Sutherland, but I just got back today.
Oh, please, I've only just come for a quick word. The police have received a couple of anonymous telephone calls.
People threatening me.
Aye, idle talk most likely, but I thought it better to tell you.
Surely no one will harm me. I have a fascination for people. They may stare at me in the street, but I'm too much of a curiosity for them to want to harm me.
Oh, there's always a chance. And are you planning to stop in Glendoran?
It's my home.
Well, most people know that, but there's bound to be prejudice.
Oh, that's only natural. It's bound to take Glendoran time to accept me again. But I've nowhere else to go. I can't afford to buy a new house if this one won't sell.
What will you do? I mean, how will you live?
The money my father left me from the farm, it's enough to live on. Until I get my future sorted out.
Well, I hope it all works out for you, Mrs. Ross.
That's really kind. It can't be easy for you, confronting a woman you caused to be prosecuted for murdering her husband.
Well, I was glad it was left to the High Court to try you. I wouldn't have liked to have prosecuted you myself.
I didn't expect the charge to be reduced to manslaughter.
No, well, your frankness helped, and Ralph Manders' evidence.
Why? Ralph stood by me.
Aye. Well, I'll ask the GPO to reconnect your telephone, give it top priority. And if there's any trouble, don't hesitate to telephone me, day or night.
It's good of you to come here.
Oh, it's my job, Mrs. Ross.
A little more than that. Thank you. How is Ralph, by the way?
Very well, I believe.
We used to play a lot of golf together.
We don't see much of each other. Well, Mrs. Ross, good day to you.
Oh, there is just one thing. From now on, I'd like to be known by my maiden name. It's a small thing, I know.
I understand.
Hello, Glenda, on 7281. Hello? Are you there? Hello? Local. Manders. Ralph Manders. The architect, yes.
I'm afraid he's not in the office at the moment, but I'll see if I can find him for you. Who's calling, please? One moment. Stella Jameson?
Who?
Miss Stella Jameson.
No, I can't speak with her now.
Hello? Who are you? You're ugly. Ugly. Leave me alone. I was out shopping, came back and found it.
Ah, I see. What time did you leave the house, Miss Jameson?
Oh, about 10 o'clock. I arrived back home just before lunch.
It's likely to be just a kid's prank, you know.
That time of day? I wouldn't have bothered you about it, only... Well, I've also received these letters.
May I?
Shall I burn them?
Oh, if it helps you.
I can't do it. And the phone calls, I just can't listen.
Small people, puny folk.
But they're people in our town, people we know, perhaps. Oh, I find it dreadful.
Oh, I'm sorry, Maureen. It had to happen all this.
Yes.
Stirred up too many ashes her coming back. Why the hell did she come back?
She's always been here.
Town put her on the shelf and let me breathe for a while.
Yes. The town had forgotten.
No, they never forget. They've been watching me. Whilst I've worked my way back, sweating in offices and committee rooms, sweating.
She wouldn't go on.
I made it, Oh, yes, I'm all right in the end. They all accept me. How very nice. You don't know how I resent their condescending smiles, their cheap little commerce backslaps, but I did it. Now I'm back to square one. The letters and the dirty phone calls. Because of her, all I built up is smashed. Smashed.
You always have to declaim it, don't you? You always have to shout.
I'm a bloody right to shout.
What about me, Ralph? Just consider how I feel. Just for a second. It's always all about you.
Oh, come on now. When I speak, it's for both of us.
When I came here 6 years ago, I loved it here. I married you knowing of your past, but not very much about you.
Well, look, I'm sorry.
But you enjoy it, this rage. You come to life. Well, I can't cope with it.
You've not been happy, have you? Not for some time.
Possess contradictory temperaments.
Opposites are supposed to attract.
Sometimes I feel this home, your office, your whole life. I feel as though you're going to blow it all to bits.
Why did you marry me?
People like you collect people like me.
These letters delivered by hand. You don't see who brings them?
They arrive at night. I come down in the morning and find them.
Do you go out of the house a lot, Miss Jimson?
Oh, about 4 times a week. Shopping. Sometimes pop into the library, maybe walk along the front.
And is anybody particularly hostile to you?
Some people have been a bit nasty, but I expected that. Most people act normal, past the time of day.
Yes, I'll have the police keep a watch on the house.
Why should that be necessary? I'm just trying to lead a normal life.
Damn it, Mr. Duthie, you take the whole business far too lightly.
It was cranks, that's all. Threats, abuse, there's no violence.
A brick through a window is hardly a neighbourly act.
Well, I've said I'll have Menges put someone on to watch the house.
Oh, you did you? That was very grand of you. You do not have Inspector Menges do anything. You request Inspector Menges' assistance. Do you understand me?
I'm sorry. She shouldn't have come back then, should she?
She's got the right to live where she wants. Well, are you coming?
You'll find it enclosed with the final specifications, an outline, detail plan for the furnishings, which I trust will meet with your requirements. Best wishes. No, you'd better make that sincerely, etc.
It's an odd sight, Ralph. You in an office behind a desk.
Take an early lunch, Jenny. It's 5 to 12.
I'm sorry, Ralph. It was the only way I could see you.
Look,
I tried phoning several times.
now please.
Ralph, I haven't come to harass.
I can't speak with you. Will you please go?
I just wanted to say, I didn't come here to drag up the past.
No, just go.
It wasn't easy to come back here. I didn't do it lightly.
Why did you come back to Glendoran?
To live peacefully, quietly, on my own, in my own home, without bothering anyone. No old grudges, Ralph. No old axes.
I killed your husband. You've served time for me. 7 years for a crime you didn't commit.
I had to. They'd have hanged you. And we were right. They did go easier on a woman.
Much good it did you.
What happened 8 years ago is gone. I'm just trying to work out my present life. Just living from day to day. Just coping. But I need your help now, Ralph. To meet people. Friends.
Look, do us both a favor. Will you leave Glendoran?
No.
Look, I'll give you money. Money to start a new life elsewhere, anywhere you like.
I'm going to make Glendoran accept me.
You know the years it's taken me to do that.
I'm staying. I'm not going to be intimidated. Nor should you be.
You spent 7 years in a prison. You're trying to tell me you don't mind.
A future married to you. It held me together. Your visits and letters for that first year. The plans we made. But after that... And now it all lies in the past.
I married somebody else that left you to rot. I wouldn't put it past you to have killed me for that.
Aye, when you first told me, when you wrote to me about it, I yelled murder. Pointed the finger at you. Nobody believed me. The man she killed her husband for is marrying another woman. Sour grapes.
Now it's all a shrug and a smile.
Is that your wife? Have you told her what really happened?
Maureen believes that you killed your husband.
I'm glad.
Well, he was never much of a man anyway.
Not in the way you are, no. He was ordered, reflective. He was a man in ways you can never be.
Oh, yes, you wanted someone to break you in socially, to give you a place in the town.
Stay friends, Ralph. Please. I'd love to see you home. Meet your wife.
I can almost laugh at that. That's very nearly funny.
What's the matter with me? Why am I so terrible?
Look, I have a wife and family, a way of life that I want. I've worked hard to get. I don't want to know about you. Will you please go?
What's wrong, Ralph? I don't hate you like that.
I'd feel happier if you did. Oh, don't you see, woman? You're a reminder to me every time I see or hear about you. God forgive me, I've worked hard to forget you.
Pretty ugly mind, don't you think? Whoever's responsible. Very sick.
And this came with it, you say?
It was wrapped around it, pushed through the letterbox.
Likely to be just kids again, miss.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe children would do that.
It's in red crayon. Looks like a child's handwriting.
No, never.
Hell is for sinners. I suppose it could be an adult.
Yes, like the rest of its adult. Like the letters, the phone calls, and the violin playing.
There's a man down the street who practices the violin, usually late at night.
Well, why does he keep playing the same tune over and over?
Barbara Allen happens to be his favourite, that's all.
The rest of it, the threatening letters, the phone calls, they're just cranks. This, well, it's vandals, hooligans looking for an excuse.
What about the man in the trees?
Unpleasant, I agree, but probably harmless.
I keep feeling this one presence. The phone calls. The one voice over and over. Very calm, but hard, brutal. A man's voice.
Just try and forget it. They never keep it up for long.
It's been too long already. Understand that.
Procurator Fiscal's office? No, I'm sorry. Mr. Sutherland's in court at the moment. Can Mr. Duthie help you? It's Stella Jimison. She sounds in a panic.
Thanks. Hello, Miss Jimson. Have you informed the police yet? Yeah, I see. Well, I'm sure they'll be over in a second. Yes, Miss Jimson, if you like. I'll come over straight away.
Okay, here, Miss Jimison.
Who was it? Did you see anyone?
Spotted someone outside the house. I drove down the avenue. When I got here, nobody. From that distance, it looked like a woman.
Contribute to the gross national product. Their lives centre on the capital. They lead not economic theory, but land. A lot of
Where
land.
have you been?
Oh, what a night.
I see you left Kevin with the neighbours. Huh?
Yes, I slipped down to the WRI.
Now
Wasn't very interesting.
WRI. Well, I thought that was Thursdays.
Where are you when it happened?
Upstairs in the bedroom.
Most of the glass in the bedroom upstairs seems to fall in the garden outside. It's odd, that. Could you describe the woman?
Oh, I couldn't see very clearly. It was small and dark, moved about awkwardly.
I see you try and stop.
Why? But when I got downstairs, she'd gone. Then the young policeman came.
How did you get this?
Flying glass in the bedroom when she chucked the brick in.
You must be standing very close to the window for that to happen.
You've been through the traffic offences, I see. Another drunk in charge at the Hydro.
No.
You don't look too hot. You haven't been booked yourself, have you?
Not yet.
I don't know what this office is coming to. Miss Russell has seen fit to absent herself to the dentist, and I'm due in court at 10:30. How are you getting on with the check on those anonymous letters?
Nothing. There's something odd about this woman. I mean, you know when someone's frightened, really scared, there's a sort of tension about them. Well, I don't get that with Stella Jimson. I mean, she looks frightened.
Well, we'll organise a watch on her. The police are already keeping an eye on the house. Let's check her movements, where she goes, what she does. I want to get to the bottom of all this.
I'll have a word with Menges. I'm sorry. I will request the inspector's assistance.
John, someone wants to kill me.
You better sit down.
Obviously, you don't recognize the handwriting.
First letter I've received like that, written like that.
Almost a child's hand. Red crayon.
I wish the work of a disturbed mind.
No. There's someone out there in the town. Someone waiting for me.
Any thoughts on who it could be?
It must be the man who keeps phoning up. Always in that same calm voice. I keep asking him why. I've paid for my crime. But all he does is taunt me and laughs and whistles into the phone when I cry.
Have you contacted any old friends since you've come back to Glendoran?
Oh, this isn't Ralph. He would never stoop so low.
Is there no one you suspect?
No. Nobody.
Well, these storms, they certainly come down suddenly, huh?
Where did you go?
Oh, just for a drive.
There's another letter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to kill Stella Ross. She deserves to die. Maybe we ought to tell Sutherland.
No, I'll not waste his time. Cranks.
Might be a genuine threat.
We're not to concern ourselves with anything involving Stella Ross.
Not a sign of anyone about, sir. Not a soul.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to drag you both out again.
This man who phoned you, he said what?
He was going to kill me, to murder me. And then this car driving slowly past.
Oh, the car was obviously driving slowly because of the storm.
The man inside was watching the house, looking in at me.
Well, how could you see that in a night like this?
I could see the car when the lightning flashed. A man in a raincoat inside.
Did you see anything?
I've been patrolling these streets all night, sir. I haven't seen anyone.
Your patrol car must have frightened him away.
Well, there's nothing more we can do tonight, is there? Come on, car down there.
Miss Jameson? Been busy writing letters?
I thought it seemed odd posting those letters, unless you had more friends in the world than seems likely.
I had to convince you. I had to make you believe I was in danger.
By writing malicious letters to yourself and Ralph Manders and to a string of other people in Glendoran.
If you saw real letters, then I thought you'd take him seriously. The man who keeps phoning out with the threats.
Oh, you mean you didn't make the phone calls yourself as well?
They're real enough.
What a pity we went over to STD last year. No means of making a check on local calls.
I have my rights, Mr. Sutherland. Whatever my past, whatever you may think of me.
Oh, now, look here,
Oh,
now.
yes, you come when I'm being threatened. When I call for help, aye. But your face is always full of doubts. Your questions always skeptical. I wrote those letters to make you sit up.
You have had your rights, madam. You've had them in full. We've come out to your house at every hour of the day and night for weeks on end. The police have kept up observation persistently. You've worn us
Arrogance
out,
of the
all
law.
of us.
It locks you away from a crime. And then when you've done your due, and all you expect is the simple assurance of life
Now,
and
you
limb,
have cried
all
wolf
you
once
do
too
is
often,
moan.
madam. We've had broken windows, rag dolls, and threatening letters, and not one of those incidents has been substantiated by any other person other than yourself. Now, if you have
What
been
about
playing
the man
a game,
in the trees? Have
it's
you asked
over
in the
now.
street? Maybe one of the neighbours have seen him.
Aye. The police picked up the individual yesterday. A poor buddy, quite harmless. Go home now, huh? Leave us in peace.
I'm still being threatened. Don't leave me. I need protection.
You need a doctor, Stella. Oh, hello.
Mr. Sutherland, please. He's phoned me up again. He's coming to murder me.
Miss Jimison, for God's sake.
He's coming tonight to kill me. Oh, please help me. He's on his way. He's coming. I'm so... Why don't you help me?
Miss Jimison, I am not going to pander to your weird and wild fantasies. You know damn well no one's coming to murder you, so why persist? Now look, stop it, will you? Call a doctor and go to bed and find some sleep.
You'll be sorry in the morning, Mr. Fiscal, when you find me good and dead.
Did I tell you? John Sutherland came to see me at the office yesterday. Apparently somebody has been threatening Stella Ross. I think he really came to see samples of my handwriting.
He suspects you.
Bound to. Could hardly not do so.
Are you coming up to bed?
I shall be up in a minute.
Well, I'll go on up then. You'll not be long, will you?
No, I'll not be long.
Please, please don't ring off. There's a man threatening to kill me. He's phoned to say he's coming here tonight. The authorities won't believe me. Mr. Sutherland thinks I'm lying.
Now, look, Stella, let's get this straight. I am not interested in your problems.
Oh, Ralph, I've had all I can stand. Look, I'm leaving Glendoran. I promise you. First train in the morning. All I want is to live through till morning. Please, Ralph. You're the only person I can turn to.
All right. Don't worry, I'll be over.
Who's that? Ralph?
it was Ralph. All those letters, all those phone calls, I would never... After 7 years, he still had the key. He still had it.
I see. It was fortunate you had the shotgun handy. And fully loaded.
I have to be interested in my own safety, even if no one else is.
Of course. And you didn't recognize the voice after all those phone calls.
He must have disguised it.
Most effectively.
Oh, come clear with your imputations, Mr. Sutherland.
I am just regretting that because of all the wild goose chases you dragged me on, I came here tonight with something less than my former urgency.
I'm hardly to blame for that. Collect your evidence, Mr. Fiscal. Assemble your facts. Just like you did the last time.
Well, we could have got a conviction for not possessing a shotgun certificate.
I suppose we could.
We're not guilty. The jury's wrong this time.
Perhaps they were wrong last time. At all events, we know why she came back. Why she's going away.